Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series match between Onslaught and Proyect XD. I am RavenX, and I will be your host for this evening. We are going to be getting game number one started here in just a few moments. I would like to go ahead and introduce both of our teams. I will be joined here tonight by TK Starstorm. He is just wrapping up another match here. It will be just a few moments. Let me go ahead and throw up his icon here. And as soon as we get a hold of him, there we go. Go ahead and add him to the call here. Alright, I'm going to get him in our... There we go. Hey, can you hear me?
Hello there.
Howdy, you are on stream. Thank you for joining me this evening.
No problem, man. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yep, so just to let you know real quick, it is Onslaught versus Proyect XD. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the teams. If you have any insight on the teams, feel free to chime in as we talk about them. I'm going to let the teams know what we're doing. And invite you to the game here. We are missing a few people though. We move you to Observer. While we're waiting, let's chat about the teams here real quick. Taking a look on the screen, we have Onslaught, have a current record of 1, 2, and 3. Lines up quite nicely. 1 win, 2 ties, 3, unfortunately, took 3 dominations so far. Looking at the roster, the captain, Chechen, I was made aware is a assassin role. He actually flexes a bit, so have the option to see a few different things out of him. Kriv is specifically a melee assassin. He's a new player to Onslaught this season. I actually played against Onslaught the previous season in Division C, and they were the only team to dominate my team in the regular season. So I'm hoping to see a lot of that same dominating style that, if I remember correctly, they did also win Division C, at least Division C East. They may have gone on to win all of Division C. Do you recall, TK?
I just joined this season. I'm very new to NGS.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and look. Unfortunately, I don't know where the records are for the previous season, but I'm pretty sure they won it all. So excited to see what they do this season. It looks like they're having a little bit of a rough run. But let's talk about the rest of their team here. We have Malisthar. He is their off-lane flex player, so we can see any number of things out of him today. Then the Vin Show is the tank, also the drafter and shot caller, so he wears many hats for Onslaught. And finally we have Zeus, who's running the support role. Now hop over to Proyect. It is Proyect, not Project, so just to that is not a typo. It is very much what they wanted to say. On their roles, we have Apocalypse running the main DPS role. So it tends to fill the majority of their carry, I would imagine, whatever they're intending to kill things with. We have Sanroy on tank. Gudanan is support. Looks like she is new to the team as well, so we've got a couple of new players on both teams. ADN, curious as to what that stands for, is the solo laner. It's a little bit of a flex role, so again, we can see any number of things out of them in that solo lane. And then Aviado, the captain, is a true flex. So once again, any number of things we can see. Hopefully we can see between the two games a variety of things. Their record, from what I was made aware, is 2-1-2. So they're about average for this season. both teams looking to pick up any additional points they can. Looking at their roster, or looking at their records so far for the season, the placement, Onslaught is holding on just barely to 8th place. Proyect is right behind them in 9th, so they're kind of battling out for a spot in the playoffs in the postseason. So we will we will hope to see, like I said, a good set of games from these two, so they should be relatively evenly matched. We're still waiting. We have only 2 people for Proyect at this time. Hopefully they get here. We do have a 15-minute leeway from start time. It is up to the team who is here in its entirety to determine if they would like to take a forfeit or if they would like to wait. So hopefully they get coming here soon. I'm gonna go ahead and ask for an update on that. So how'd your previous game go? The cast you just finished up.
Oh, it was pretty good. We just finished casting Onslaught actually against Hand Banana.
Okay, you picked up the previous Onslaught game. That's right. I wanted to do both. It would have been great to do both of their games back to back, but it's a little bit early for me to be on in the evening, unfortunately. So I'm gonna pick up the latter half of their games and hope that they still have enough energy to put on a show for our viewers out there. Who ended up winning that set?
Ended up being a draw. Game one went pretty convincingly to Onslaught, and game two went pretty convincingly to Hand Banana.
Okay. What were the maps?
Volskaya for game one and BOE for game two.
Okay. So in this map, just go over what our pre-game setup looked like. Onslaught won the coin toss. They did opt to ban Towers of Doom. Proyect responded with a Volskaya ban. The map pick from Onslaught was Dragonshire, and Proyect opted to take Sky Temple. So Dragonshire should have plenty of action on it. See how both teams opt to play that. And then Sky Temple, from the games I've cast so far this season, very few games on it, and it tends to be very very snowbally. You get one team that just has a decisive lead over the other early game, and they run away with it. So hope to see a little bit more of an even match between the two tonight, and hope that game goes for a decent amount of time. Now you are the manager for Moto in Heroic Division, correct?
Yes.
I actually got to cast their game a couple days ago. I do see that it looks like they're struggling a bit this season. How's that coming along?
I feel like everyone's mental attitude is pretty good, and I feel like we're all very focused on improving. And that being said, having a little bit of a struggle early in the season, if we are going to struggle, I would rather have it happen now than later.
Yeah, I know that feeling. So far this season, my team, very first week, dropped both maps. Go ahead and ignore that server invite. I didn't mean to send that to you. We lost the first week pretty hard. We were still trying to figure out what our team wanted to do, what kind of style we wanted, who was gonna start. Because I got the team together pretty late, and then week 2, we got a little bit of a better idea of who we were gonna play with. We split a map with sponsored by Rory, and then this previous week we've took dominations in both games, so we're trending in the right direction. Based on the stats so far, the teams we've played have been the teams at the bottom of the standings, so it looks like the rest of our season is actually going to get harder as we go along. So I'm hoping that we're going to step it up enough that we'll be able to continue and kind of upset the bracket a little bit.
Summer Blaze every game.
Yeah. His name is in fact Summer Blaze on our server. That is the only character he's allowed to play, unless of course they take or ban it. But he's got some backups. He's pretty good in that solo lane. So we'll we'll have something for him if they decide to take that from him. And I do want to apologize to the viewers. I did see it. They said it's going to take 8 to 10 minutes. That was, I don't even know how long ago. So um, as soon as they're all in the lobby, we will get started. I do want to thank you very much for joining me this evening for this Div C West Week 4 game, once again between Onslaught and Proyect XD. I'm trying to be all over the map with my casts. I think the only division I have yet to cast for is Div B. So I got to find a Div B game at some point and see what kind of things they get away with in that division. I was actually very happy to be able to pick up a heroic game. It was last minute. Had another caster, had to drop it, wasn't feeling the greatest, and I picked it up. Sure, I'll do a heroic game. Let's see how this goes. And looking at that game, looking at my team, and then looking at some of the lower divisions, it's interesting when you see two teams evenly matched. How when you look at two teams also evenly matched at a different skill level, that the gameplay doesn't look all that different. You know, you see a lot of the same things go on, but you notice little things at the lower divisions where they're kind of indecisive, and little mistakes that you don't see at the higher levels of play. And then at the highest levels of play, you see all different kinds of mistakes where people are capitalizing on little things, like such as in heroic, you one small mistake and the other team is going to punish you hard for it. Should play a game in chat, see what the some kind of trivia. Oh, you know what? I do want to talk about this background. Have you seen this? I imagine you're looking at it now. This wonderfully red background that Blizzard has given us.
All right, two of the others have shown up now, so 4 out of 5.
80% of the team is in attendance. I can't wait to see some of these new skins coming out, especially the Alarak. He's one of my primary characters that I don't get to play competitively very much, so I am exceptionally excited to see that, and maybe even the Gul'dan skin. How about you?
I really like the Alarak ones. The only complaint I have is that they didn't make one in a neon blue.
I didn't look at the specific colors. What do we have? Red, green. They're normal.
Red, yellow, and purplish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, purple. It's kind of his thing. So, all right, we do have both teams. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll do a lobby check real quick. Simon. Who is Simon? I wish she could. I see. Assuming, is it a Simon Says joke? Is that what he was going for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit slow tonight. My brain has started a new project at work, and not feeling the greatest, but I did not want to miss this cast. All right, we have a ready from Chet and from Aviato. So game number one on Dragonshire. We're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1.
Let us begin.
All right, so due to winning the coin flip, Onslaught will take second pick in the draft. We get our first ban from Proyect. What kind of things would you like to see from these teams on this map?
Oh, Dragonshire. How what an interesting map, but also what a one-dimensional map.
One-dimensional, really? You see it as one-dimensional?
I see it as well because I'm probably much lower level than all of you. But I see it as, hey, how well can you poke them off if they do get control of both shrines? How well can you just poke them off and just stall?
Well, okay, I can see that. It is the concept is simple. However, the map is very dynamic in that you have the two parts of the objective are on opposite sides of the map, and then you have to cap in the middle. So you have to be your positioning, your strategic calling has to be on point if you want to ever take the objective, or you need to basically wait and be patient for someone to make a mistake. My first ever competitive match back in over in another league was on Dragonshire, and it was 32-minute map. It was absolutely amazing. But on this matchup, we have a first ban Phoenix. What is your opinion of Phoenix at this point in time?
I think he's still strong, but definitely not as strong as he used to be, and I'm not sure if he warrants a first ban anymore.
You still see it every almost every week. I'm seeing teams ban it first. I don't know if they just haven't quite figured it out, or they think he's extraordinarily powerful. But nonetheless, the response is a Sonya ban from Onslaught. It's a very good solo lane. She's one of the top solo laners. She's gone. And then we have a pickup of Diablo by Proyect.
Interesting. And I was casting Onslaught's previous game, and their Diablo comboed with Medivh from Malistar or whatever was pretty potent, and Diablo was able to escape a lot of the time.
Nice. I take it they did a wombo with it.
Oh, the joys of having Medivh just portal Diablo in. Diablo slams the dude into the wall out of nowhere.
Well, the response from Onslaught is an ETC and a Junkrat. So, two strong characters in their own rights. This draft is going pretty fast. So, there's some wombo potential there. The response from Proyect is to pick up Blaze Stukov, the top of the solo and support pools. So, all in all, both teams just going and grabbing the strongest characters they possibly can. Um, and when it comes to point control, and then the ban of the Hanzo, not surprising in the least. Hanzo, if they weren't opting to go for it, which with the Junkrat wouldn't be a terrible option, to ban it, Diablo and Hanzo together can be pretty nasty.
Definitely. Diablo Blaze Stukov. Just really looking for some damage now out of Project.
And what would you hope to see banned from the side of Proyect here?
I'm thinking probably Malfurion, just if we're being boring, because, it's gone.
Yeah, I would see that as the appropriate response, unless they've scouted something else that they see as more of a threat to them.
I mean, I would ban Malistar's Medivh after the series I saw.
Well, let's see if they have the same insight as you. Maiev. Okay. Maiev Junkrat is a
Maiev does damage.
Maiev Junkrat is a potent combo. So pickups here. Support is not high on the list of priorities for Onslaught, so I would like to see their solo lane and their other damage here try and deny Proyect, another high-tier assassin at this point. So with the Sonya ban, that leaves them with a few options. They could go to Haka for the global. Could take Leo for the potential to win the lane against Blaze relatively hard if he plays it well. And then the dual soak option is also available there. Ooh,
Interesting.
we're going back to the olden days. Vala, Ariel, and I do know that they played a lot of that the previous season.
Yeah, and if we didn't see Vala picked up there, I was actually going to select maybe Malthael to try and take out the Blaze, but Vala Ariel, that is a lot of damage and a lot of healing.
Now this is one of those things that I point out every cast. I see teams, I don't know that they put an adequate amount of thought into their draft order because Ariel is not going to be picked up with Stukov. Bans are done. Ariel could have waited for last, and they could have picked up a stronger, another. Well, I guess it's the same thing. They didn't need their solo laner either, so I guess at this point it doesn't really matter all that much. But the solo laner, you kind of have an idea of what you want against the Blaze. The support, you may have wanted to say, well, let's hold off and see if Ariel is a good option against their last two picks.
Yeah, and that's a lot of damage. Tracer, Li Ming.
Definitely a lot of kill potential. A couple of good finishers. Poke, and a decent amount of dive. The silence pull into a Diablo Tracer and Li Ming and Blaze just all jumping all over your squishies because they do have a lot of backline squishy on the side of Onslaught. They have to pick up another front line if they hope to be able to survive team fights. Varian. Okay.
Ooh, Varian.
Fantastic option versus the Tracer. All around, I don't know that he wins the solo lane against Blaze, but I have seen teams opt to put an assassin in the solo lane, which they can do with Junkrat here, and then rotate around with a Varian to help with ganks.
Well, the more I think about Varian, the more I like C Smash.
Even against a Tracer?
I'm thinking C Smash just. I want the opportunity to just have that Blaze or Diablo or Stukov even. I want one of them to just be miserable.
If you can get in there, it definitely gives you some blowout potential. The problem is the damage on the side of Onslaught is a lot of sustained over time. Not DOT, but it's gonna come out in small bits and bursts, so you're not going to erase anything relatively quickly. So I would not like to see Smash from them here, but again, I saw a team yesterday, I believe, actually went Twin Blades to go hard on a Gul'dan, and it almost worked out well for him, but the problem is he had so much sustain. They actually took a Medivh and a Stukov, I believe, and then Gul'dan's own self-sustain. Varian tried his best and just could not erase them. On this team, however, that is potentially a viable option to just go in and absolutely destroy a backline character, especially in Stukov. Stukov goes down, there's a ticking clock on how long they can continue to fight. So, if you're just joining us, this is Onslaught versus Proyect XD Division C West, Week 4, and as you can see, we are on Dragonshire. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our team on the left, the blue team. Let me zoom out here. We have Malisthar on the Varian, Zeus on the Ariel, Kriv on Junkrat, throwing out the mine, the Vin Show on ETC, and Shetgen on Vala. If you'd like to go ahead and introduce our red team.
And on the red team, we have Project XD. We have Aviato on Tracer, ADN on Blaze, CG Apocalypse on Li Ming, Guidanan on Stukov, and CG Sanroy on Diablo.
All right. Now, who do you favor here?
I really like Blaze Diablo, but oh man, there's a lot of interesting things that can happen with Onslaught's team. But I'm gonna give a slight edge to Project and the draft.
I do agree. I think they have a ton of aggressive options available and a huge orb out from Apocalypse to start off here.
Flip comes out onto the ball, going to do some nice damage. Another orb comes out. Bin is at around 1/3, but that orb to start off with, like you said, that chunked everyone hard.
Yeah, and
Oh, but the Tracer blinks into the root.
that's going to be a struggle for Onslaught, is just making sure that, like I said, they have such a squishy backline that if they eat just a couple of those, they end up.
Oh, Roy's caught out.
Roy goes down hard. A little bit too aggressive. Looks like their rotations are a little bit off. They may not even be opting to rotate. They do struggle in wave clear on the 4-man, so that could be a potential problem. They may actually uh, fall behind in the early game in the soak because of it.
Yeah, and it looks like Varian is holding his own against the Blaze. Gonna land some poke. Aviato shows up for a roam, lands the pulse bomb, and Malstar goes down.
That was a great gank by Aviato. We'll give them.
Alright, they have 3.
We'll give them control of top. Onslaught's going to go ahead and opt to take their siege camp here now. They will get both shrines. They have 2 mid versus the Junkrat. Junkrat can poke. I don't know where they're going. They want to go up and get the cap as soon as possible.
Let's see, can Junkrat's grenade get there in time? No, it can't.
So
actually, they get a Dragon Knight at 2 minutes.
2-minute Dragon Knight from Proyect. This should give them. They did reach level 4. They are half a level ahead. It is a very weak Dragon Knight. However, it should give them a little bit of a lead if they get 1 or 2 towers here and maybe in another lane. But you know, it is going to go down pretty quick.
Unfortunate, but wow, you do not see that every day. 2-minute Dragon Knight.
I'll talk about the talents here real quick. We do have Hot Pursuit and Creed of the Hunter by Vala as a level 1. Aviato gets knocked back in, almost goes down. Let's see if they can pick her up here. Oh, she's going to go ahead and...
some nice jukes. Roy's going to come in and just charge the Junkrat away.
Get away from my Tracer, he says. We have Bouncy Bouncy and Taste for Explosions by Junkrat. Lion's Maw and Taunt from Varian, so I'm really glad to see that decision. Guitar Hero.
Definitely.
Guitar Hero, that's an interesting. I don't often see that talent. Typically, if you want the extra healing, you're going to opt for Prog Rock, but
Prog Rock, yeah.
Yeah, this does give you a little bit of your own self-sustain up front. Now, Majestic Span and Swift Sweep on Oriel. The side of Proyect, we have Pulse Strike and Parting Gift, Neural Stim Pack and Adhesive Petroleum, Power Hungry and Dominance, Fetid Touch. That's an interesting choice on Stukov.
We really are going back. Pulse Bomb going to land in the mid lane onto Kriv, but he's going to live with 15 health.
I'm going to go ahead and pause here just in case. Finish up the talents here. 1 good spread. That Fetid Touch, that's an interesting decision. I'm not, again, another talent you don't see taken too often. And then Devil's Due and From the Shadows on Diablo. So nothing too out of the norm. Like I said, that Fetid Touch, not normally a huge fan of that at 1. Curious to see how he builds out the rest of his game, rest of the game, and see what he's opting to go for there.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how Bouncy Bouncy goes for the Junkrat as well, because I kind of like put some English on it so you can just play safer and just chill in the backline more. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it definitely opts to be the safer option. It's also more reliable, just because of the, like you said, the extra range, especially against something like a Tracer and a Ming. You want to be as far, and Diablo and Blaze, everything on that team. You want to be as far back as possible. But he's hoping to, I guess, make some use of these tight corridors on the objectives to maybe get a little bit of extra damage. I just don't know that 20% more is really worth the very few times that you're actually going to hit people with the bounce. Alright, we have a ready from Proyect. Go ahead and get a... Alright. I can't spell their team name, so they got it for me. We're going to go ahead and count down. 3, 2, 1, and go. I see what you're saying. Kriv just got out of there with under 100 health. That was... I did miss that. That looks like that was just barely got himself away there.
Yeah, it was very interesting. That last bullet didn't actually manage to connect from Aviato before he recalled. So I think he recalled with 1 bullet left in the chamber. The bomb went down and he had 15 health.
Nice.
And that's a tilter.
Now Kriv just ate a bomb. He's going to have to be careful of him getting poked out by Ming. He's spraying behind the wall, so Apocalypse can't even see it. Do see a siege camp pickup, or a bruiser camp pickup by Proyect here.
But Apocalypse might be caught out. He's going to land forward from the ball. A lot of auto attacks coming down, but Stukov's going to save Li Ming, so it's all good.
It's very, very nice aggression by Onslaught. Almost picked up a nice kill there. Each team is at 1 kill apiece. Take a look at our level 7 talents here real quick. We do have Victory Rush by Varian. That's I don't play a lot of Varian, so especially since it's rework, I haven't seen what the best choice of option is here. We might have an invade on the camp.
Looks like a collapse here, yeah, for Proyect. They aren't going to get onto the camp though, but that's going to be a lot of damage coming down onto the Bala. Ariel's heal's going to come out, the bomb, oh man, and Vin almost slid the bomb into Chet.
Yeah, that was I don't know if that was a miss on Aviato, but that was good that went on Vin as opposed to Chechen, because that may have been a dead Vala there.
Yeah, Tracer's just going to clear out this camp. Both shrines have been taken for Proyect. But Varian's just going to neutralize top. 4v3 fight going pretty even. Oh, actually, they're going to catch out Diablo and Samurai goes down.
He's playing a little bit too aggressively, in my opinion. He's not going to do a whole lot against this trio, even though they are 4v3. They need to stand back and let Ming do her job before they go in and look to finish someone off.
And Junkrat's here. Oh, not really, but he is going to bring Li Ming's damage a little bit along with them, and if they don't stop him, Junkrat can get a pretty easy cap here. Let's see if Li Ming will be able to stop him. The answer is no.
Very nice.
Looks like they're going to just run it down mid, because why not?
Run it down mid. That is the one of the favorite sayings of my friend Professor Bobo. Now, no creeps, no friends out anywhere nearby. He's gonna chew through the health of this Dragon Knight and get 1 tower for it. Not the best use of the objective here. Now, because of it though, both teams do pick up level 10. We'll take a look at their alts. We do have Rocket Ride on Junkrat, Stage Dive on ETC, Crystal Aegis on the Ariel, Rain of Vengeance, and Shield Wall. All pretty standard. Stage Dive is an okay option on this map. Quantum Spike, no alt from Blaze as of yet. Wave of Force, Massive Shove, and Apocalypse. Do see a Siege Cap, Invade by Proyect XD. Bomb does go out. Looks like, I imagine that went on Vin?
Yeah, went on Vin in the mid lane. Oh, and it looks like a nice collapse onto Kriv. Charge is going to miss, the orb is going to miss, and Wave of Force won't be enough. And Kriv gets away with his life again. Re-engage coming in, the nice stun into the stage dive, into the everything. Stukov's gonna go down. CG Sandroy. Oh, but Vala actually gets deleted by the combo of the Tracer and the Li Ming, and they're going to turn it onto Vin, and that's another reset city. Aviala's gonna try and do whatever they can, but looks like it's just going to be a 2-for-1. A pretty good turnaround by Proyect.
Yeah, Proyect actually gets a fort out of that as well because of their siege cap. Now, I do think that Onslaught's being a little bit too aggressive. They got a nice kill. You know, I think they were properly aggressive, but that they stayed around a little bit too long. And against a Ming and a Tracer, the longer you stay in a fight, the more value they're going to get unless you kill them relatively quickly. So they have to be smart and selective with their engages.
And as soon as Ming gets one kill, oh man, it can be lights out for your whole team.
Yeah, the snowball potential on Ming is pretty ridiculous. They are setting up for a gank on Malistar here. See if he sniffs it out. He's going to go ahead and back out of the way. Diablo
Oh,
grabs
nice
him.
flip though. The whole team's there. Bomb is going to miss though. Greenland's going to get stunned. A lot of damage coming towards him, but he's just going to be able to walk his way out. And ETC gets taken out first. Apocalypse is full health, full mana. He can look for some more damage here. Diablo is just going to keep doing as much as he can on the front line. Melee is going to get parried really nicely. A nice stasis comes out. Crystal Aegis as well. ADN is very low. He's going to have to be wary of any feature engage. Diablo gets shoved away, and this fight should be disengaged.
Yeah, they came in trying to help out Varian. Varian's actually going to go back into the fight. Very nice escape by him.
Oh, the
Protected.
bomb's going to land. Tracer gets taunted.
Not the best option to throw the bomb on. Now, with Junkrat split pushing on the other side of the map, they're not gonna want to look to team fight too much because Proyect is just gonna keep going.
Looking for the engage. Oh, a nice.
Nice.
Combo is going to land.
Great.
Silence is going to land, but not enough finishing damage onto anyone except for Vin. Actually gets meleeed to death. Ming's going to jump forward. Resets coming out. A nice charge onto Malistar's Varian. And I'm not sure if he'll be able to live there. Yep, shield wall not quite up in time.
That was a nice fight for them. I feel like the Proyect could have gotten more out of that than they did. A little bit of a lack of focus. Now, Kriv, again, still split pushing. Looks like he's going to try and get this. He's actually taunting down here. He's going to get rotated on if he's not careful.
He's just having a good time down in bot lane, doing what he wants. Oh, but the entire team's there.
Oh, stunned out of his
the
ult.
rocket ride.
Little bit.
Very nice play.
He's showing his stuff, but unfortunately, Proyect came down and said, "No, you're gonna die no matter what you do at this point."
Come on, Junkrat, you can't taunt that early.
Dragon Knight picked up by Ming. Unfortunately, the Vin show was not able to cap top, so let's see what Proyect can actually do with their dragon here. They still don't have. I'm seeing these teams. They're opting to run hard with the dragon. No real patience to make the most out of it. But they're going to get a pick up a fort and then rotate bot instead of pushing mid.
Yeah, I like it. They have the minion wave pushing up. They want to make sure. Oh, when convenient, you need to pause.
Alright, not sure what the issue is. Imagine something's going on in real life, but yeah, so far, Proyect has got a pretty decent handle on this. They are about to hit level 16, almost 2 full levels ahead of Onslaught here. Taking a look at the talents, Vala did opt for a full AA build. Wasn't much option in regards to their flexibility there. I was seeing in chat it was brought up that W might have been a little bit of a better option to go with the Ariel. I can't disagree. I'm always a fan of the auto attack. You have AoE with Junkrat, so adding the W doesn't necessarily help a whole lot. I would say the old Ariel with the 2-second cooldown at 7. I can agree that their team is going to be up all the time, no matter what. But I think the auto attack is a better option here. We're going to go ahead and count down, make sure that. All right, both teams are ready. So we'll do 3, 2, and 1. Unpause. Alright, we're going to get push going here in the bot lane. Like I said, Ripper Air by Junkrat. Mortal Strike. that will help a little bit with the Stukov, whoever their focus target ends up being. Face Smelt, Blinding Flash.
Oh, a nice charge by Roy is going to land onto the Junkrat of Kriv. Aegis comes out, stage dive lands into the middle of the team. Not too much focus. ADN's taking quite a bit of fire. Roy gets a nice charge, and ETC is going to get bombed. Kriv is going to get finished by Aviato.
Yeah,
Rest in peace. That is a fatality.
Kriv, I think Kriv should have taken a little bit of a safer route back. He was lucky to live as it was, and I think he should have just ran the opposite direction and maybe even just bead back at that point. So good pickup. We have a first keep by Proyect at 12 minutes. Again, they're just running away with this game at this point, and we you called it at the beginning of the game. Their aggressive comp was going to most likely win them the game, and so far it looks like that is the case. 9 kills to 3 so far.
And 6 structures to 2. Most importantly, there's been a lot of domination around the map for Proyect.
Yeah, Bot Fort is almost down from all of that Junkrat pushing, but it is still alive. Take a look at the level 16s on the side of Proyect. We have Sleight of Hand from Tracer, faster reloads, always a good option if you're not great at doing your manual reloads. We have Heat Treatment, Mirror Ball, Universal Carrier, okay, and then Domination. Looks like Proyect is going to go ahead and go for the kill at this point. They do have the 16 advantage. Apocalypse is not up for another 10 seconds, though.
Yep, but as the fight breaks out, Roy's just going to take a lot of tower hits. He's going to get stunned up by the Vincho, stunned up again by the Rain of Vengeance, but he's taking hits from every single direction. Albiel's going to go in and land the bomb onto Crip.
Nice
He can't
kill.
ult in time, but Roy's going to get taken out by the Total Mayhem. Diablo's Soulstone is going to be reset. He's going to be back now, but he is not much of a tank anymore. Albiel's just going to try and poke away at Malstar.
Jet taking tons of damage.
Jet. He's so lucky to get away alive there. Apocalypse going to do what he can. So much damage onto Malistar. Everyone is so low on the side of Onslaught. If Apocalypse can find an opening, that is going to be a reset, the likes of which even Genji can't hope to match. It just comes out now, a stun onto Vala. Malistar is going to go back in onto ADN. He's going to get stunned up against the wall. ETC is going to be taken down. Chet is very, very low, but he's going to be able to run away into the fountain. Avialer won't be able to finish off Zeus. Jet's going to focus back onto him. Malistar is going to go back onto Diablo's Sanroy. Let's see. Malistar is going to be taking a bit more damage. Junkrat gets deleted again. Roy's going to be taking up those Total Mayhem grenades. Vala was taken down as well by the Ming. 4 down now, and wow, that was quite the game.
Yeah, looking at the team fights there, there's quite a bit of by the tanks on both teams. They were, in my opinion, a little bit too aggressive, especially Diablo there. That could have hurt his team quite a bit, taking so many access shots. But in the end, it didn't matter too much. The level 16 advantage was too much for Onslaught to overcome. So take a look at our post-game stats here. We have a ton of damage from Tracer and Li Ming both. 8 kills, no deaths on either of them. So they carried that team in terms of damage pretty hard. Diablo takes 3 deaths, but at least one of those was a soul respawn at the end there. Yeah, the big thing here is just ETC. One of the things he struggles with is just not being able to survive poke. Something like Li Ming is actually a very hard counter to an ETC, especially without prog rock. He doesn't have the ability to heal himself up too much there.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of those fights it was basically, instead of the Vincho, it was the Kriv gets one shot by literally every one show.
Yeah, that, like I said, that squishy backline, it was gonna fall to Ming poke. If it gets through the front line of your variant and your ETC, you're not going to survive for a very long time. So very decisive victory on the side of Proyect. We'll go ahead and update their score. 1-0 for Proyect. I'm gonna say it right one of these days. We'll go ahead and we will load up game number 2 is on Sky Temple. So look to see if maybe Proyect opts to do some of the same things there. That aggressive comp works out nicely on this map as well. So, if they draft and play much the same way, Onslaught might be a little bit in trouble for this game number 2.
Yeah, and there just wasn't much that they could do. I mean, they had a couple of nice re-engage moments, but there wasn't. I just feel like there wasn't enough damage out of the backline. There wasn't enough survivability out of Junkrat and ETC. Ariel did her best. She was trying to heal up as much as she could, but rip.
Well, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to bring you into the game here. And then go ahead and throw us on our caster cam here just a moment. Alright, make you an observer. Alright, let's go ahead and get our teams in here. We'll go ahead and invite Onslaught first. Alright, so what kind of adjustments would you like to see Onslaught make on this map number 2? This is Proyect's map choice.
It's going to be tough. I'd like to see them play a little bit more defensively and focus certain targets more heavily in the team fights, because a couple of those scenarios, if they finish Stukov off, there's not much Project can do to turn that fight around.
Yeah, that was what I was hoping to see with the variant pick. I didn't see too much whether or not he was able to taunt Tracer, much of anyone really. Did he get much value out of it?
Yeah, and I feel like the Li Ming was just, that was a bit much for Onslaught to deal with. That was so much poke, so much damage.
Alright, so we do have all of Onslaught. We're going to go ahead and get Aviato in here. Who do I need to throw the crowns on? Go ahead and get it on Vin. Kick Asina, huh? Oh, wrong person. We'll go ahead. Nope. It's like someone else threw him out of there, or they left. Alright, waiting on one more person here. Looks like that Probius, you and Apocalypse seem to share the love of Probius there.
Probius or bust, man. Every game.
I am learning to not hate him so much. I haven't been a huge fan of him, but he definitely has no real place in the meta, at least in my opinion, right now. But hoping to see some resurgence of some of the lower tier characters here soon.
Might not be meta, but he certainly is fun.
Throw out the W, throw out the Q, blow everything to Kingdom Come, and then occasionally put down a cannon that doesn't do much of anything.
My personal favorite, when you have comms with your buddy who's on ETC, you set up like a 3 rift combo and you actually just nuke them.
Oh yeah, the throwing thing, when you have the proper setup for it, it's pretty vicious. Trying to get people to walk into the circles is rough if you don't have that setup though.
Yeah, absolutely. Can be a blast though if you are ahead on that Probius. Can be really difficult for people to stop you. But this is all me hoping for my favorite character to creep into the meta for once.
Alright, so game number 2, we have Sky Temple. We're going to go ahead and get that started here. Like I said, the adjustments, I would like to see a little bit more of an aggressive comp come out of Onslaught. I do not recall exactly how they played the previous season. Like I said, I do remember they liked the the sit back and poke you out type comps, and it looks like that may have carried over into this season. It looks like they're struggling with it a little bit at the higher levels of play.
I think they had their moments. It's just that they were overshadowed by a couple of big plays that Proyect made.
Well, that's the thing about the aggressive divey style of play. It's easy to be the aggressor. It's very difficult to defend against aggression. You have to draft perfectly and play just as perfectly in order to to execute what is necessary to stop an aggressive comp. So on the side of Onslaught, we have the first ban. I imagine they ban out what did the most damage to them game one, but maybe they have a preference to ban something in particular. They do stick with the Sonya ban. So again, Sonya not a terrible first ban. Maybe they expect that Froyo or Project plays a lot of her. Now that does leave them open to maybe first pick a Blaze here and not be stuck with a specific hero in the solo lane. I would like to see a Dahaka somewhere in these drafts. It's still a nice map for the global. I know he's fallen off a bit, but he still has his value in that he can be anywhere on the map, almost anywhere on the map.
What kind of a draft would you like to see from both teams going into this game too?
Again, I want to see aggression. I want Onslaught to step it up a little bit in their draft and just decide, okay, we're gonna be in your face and not let you throw us around and bully us. And the Phoenix band. So we have similar bands on both, or same bands on both sides for number one. And we have an immediate tracer lock from from Onslaught. They're just gonna take that away. That's the aggression I wanted to see. So how does Proyect respond now that their trace is taken away? Did they just say, okay, well we're gonna dive you another way, or did they opt to go another route? Maybe abuse the snowball potential of the map and play something completely off the wall.
Play the most turtle defensive comp ever.
Well, this is, if there's ever a map to cheese on, this is it. I don't see a lot of cheese at the higher levels of play. I think teams may opt to believe that the other team's likely going to be able to respond to it properly and deal with it, so it's not quite worth the risk. Hanzo and Dahaka, so I am getting all of the things I want on this map. Onslaught picking up the aggression. We get the Dahaka from Proyect. Hanzo was banned by Onslaught game one, so they do know that it's probably going to get banned out if they don't take it. So it's a good first round pickup by them, and then they have the global. So Onslaught has the option now to respond in stride, take a global of their own, or in this case, I would say Blaze would be a good pickup, and maybe their support, maybe a Stukov. Stukov does very well all around, number one support right now, and that's what I'd like to see there. Their Blaze and Stukov would be fantastic options, but we're going to see an Abathur. What do you think about that?
We're going to have something interesting on our hands. Ooh, love me some Abathur.
I am not disappointed in the least. If they can execute, they have the potential for double tracer is brutal. If the Abathur player can also play tracer, two tracers in your face is terrifying. And
I won't complain about seeing anything like Abathur.
not to overshadow it, but we also do have a Rhaegar. Good, strong support pickup. I wouldn't normally like to see it picked up over Stukov, but they do have the option to ban it now. Now, the worry I have is that Stukov, they ban Stukov and Malf stays on the board. Malf has the potential to shut down Tracer hard, so they may not have any option but to ban out Malfurion now. See, Joanna banned by Proyect. It's an okay ban. Right now, Onslaught is going to struggle in the wave clear area. So Joe would have been a good pickup by them to kind of make up for that in their 4-man.
I'm hoping Onslaught can pick up Blaze, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I don't know that they have. They would have to main tank Blaze. I don't think they have the ability to run an offlaner now. I think they have to run a strong 4-man, and they opt to ban the Diablo. So again, Diablo Hanzo combo, not a good thing to leave up. So that's a good ban for them as well.
All right, what's your ideal meme scenario for both teams?
Cho'Gall.
On either team?
I mean, Cho'Gall Abathur is just silly, but it would be amazing to see it from Proyect XD. But they opt for the Garrosh. Garrosh is a nice option versus the Tracer. She doesn't do a whole lot to him. He can taunt, he can throw, protect his teammates. So Garrosh, being at the top of the support chain is a good pickup. And then Stukov. Again, I think I would have preferred to have seen Malfurion, but Stukov's strong. He's never a bad pick. I don't know that he is the best pick for what's shown on the side of Onslaught, though.
Yeah, because I think if Garrosh can actually lock someone down, having a Malfurion there just does so much to just deny the enemy team anything.
Yeah, I mean, a Garrosh throw into a root, Garrosh taunt into a Twilight Dream, anything caught in that is going to die.
Basically just Garrosh and Malfurion in general.
So on the side of Onslaught, they need a tank, and I do think they should probably pick up another DPS. What do you think that looks like?
Oh man, if they hadn't banned away their own Sonya, I would have wanted them to get that. I'm not really sure what we'll be seeing here. Blaze and Tyrael.
Okay, so they are opting to all in with the Tracer. I'm hoping that's a Judgment Tyrael. I really am. I'm hoping they're gonna go all in on a Stukov or a Hanzo and just try and erase them. Abathur, this comp is not gonna come online until level 10, and I'm concerned by the lack of wave clear. There's no wave clear really at all from Tracer, very little from Tyrael. Depending on if they opt to solo lane the Blaze, you know, he has obviously the best wave clear. Rhaegar can help with the Tyrael up front, and then Abathur is Abathur. He'll wave clear wherever his hat is. But a Tychus pickup by Proyect, I think that's it's probably a good option for them, right?
I like it because I think Tyrael and Blaze both have pretty big health pools. I would have also liked to see the Li Ming run again because I feel like you could blow up a lot of things on that team.
Li Ming Tracer was deadly for Proyect last game.
Who are you giving the edge to?
This one's not quite so straightforward. Neither team, I mean, again, Proyect has the wave clear advantage depending on how Onslaught opts to rotate. But post 10, the team fight potential for Onslaught is there. Whether they opt to hat I think they have no option but to hat Tracer. Otherwise, they're going to lack damage hard. So to me, this is a Tracer hat into a Tracer clone. And then on the side of Proyect, you know, they have all sorts of potential for the damage output. So I think their team fight is good. Their siege is great. they have the siege from the Odin if they say they opt to do that. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce the side of Onslaught once again. We have the Vin Show on Tyrael, Chetjan on Blaze, Malistar on the Slug, Kriv on Tracer, and Zeus. Do I have Zeus right? Yeah, Zeus. He has that Cyberwolf skin. Threw me off on the Rhaegar. Go ahead and introduce us to Proyect here.
And on the side of Proyect XD, we have Aviano on Tychus, ADN on Dahaka, Gudanan on Stukov, CG Apocalypse on Hanzo, and Sanroy on Garrosh.
All right, so Proyect has stacking abilities here, so they want to get something mid, but Onslaught decided nope, we're gonna go ahead and split off, especially with the Abathur. We don't care about fighting mid. Nice throw on the Blaze. Blaze actually taking a ton of damage.
He actually might go down. Tychus, a couple more autos, he won't get it.
Just barely. Kriv going in on the Gudanan on Stukov. Both teams, one hero taking a lot of damage. Kriv has to be careful. This is not, with the Rhaegar, she does not have a ton of heals available for her. But the one thing Abathur struggles with is the lane presence. I think it's smart for them to send Tyrael top, hopefully rotate the 3-man, and then have Malisar just sitting around soaking what he can. Rotations are a bit odd from Onslaught. We have a Tracer going up to try and gank ADN. So long as he stays on his side, he shouldn't be in too much trouble. As long as he doesn't use his burrow, the bomb should have no effect on him whatsoever.
Yeah, and not much is gained out of that gank. I guess they pushed him in a bit further, but it's not too much. You do see Malistar actually walking forward. He has to be very careful he doesn't reveal anything.
Now, I do like the option to rotate the Blaze. I think that's smart to have the best wave clear on your team in your 4-man, and I think that the Vin Show, what it's looking like here is he's actually doing an okay job of actually winning the lane against ADN. Little bit of tower damage so far. So I'll be curious to see as to, ADN is taking a ton of damage from Vin Show. Even almost absolutely the same experience for both teams, so the rotations aren't hurting anyone. Do see siege camps picked up by both teams.
Ooh, Roy gets the throw, but nothing more.
Yeah, Tracer, so unless she gets locked down, Tracer doesn't care too much.
Oh, nice stun onto Tychus.
It's a great, he went right through that silence pool. No follow-up though, unfortunately, so Aviato's going to be okay. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of an experience lead on the side of Proyect here. And I think that has to do with the 3-man rotation. They're struggling a little bit with the wave clear. And now that level 4s are picked up, take a look at the talents real quick. Neural Stim Pack and Oil Disperser on Blaze. Pulse Strike Parting Gift on Tracer. Pressurized Glands and Adrenal Overload. So we're looking at a full hat build by Abathur. Justice for All and Stalwart Angel. So he's definitely building the solo lane. Wolf Run and Healing Totem on Rhaegar. And then on the side of Proyect, press the advantage, and the bigger they are. Vin Show gets thrown in. He does Q himself out just barely. He has to be careful. That's going to get poked out by Tyrael, or by Tychus.
Looks like he was a little frozen there. Oof.
Hey, he stopped moving. I don't know if he ran into an issue there. So we are going to get the temple is going to be taken by Proyect here. Nobody on top as of yet. Abathur is going to make up the soak advantage. However, the temple shots here are going to make that null and void as Dahaka burrows up top to take shots there.
How do you feel about the press the advantage on Tychus as opposed to the dash?
At the pro level, it's the preferred choice. It gives you the ability to safely back up and then still hit people. And ADN actually goes down. Nice rotation by Onslaught. This game's moving pretty quickly. We have Quarterback on Tychus, Enduring Swarm, Hero Stalker, and Symbiosis on the...
Dahaka.
Oh, no, I was stopping to take a look, see if Santa's really
Oh,
low.
yeah,
Chechen's low.
right. Aviato barely going to escape with his life until Crib is going to finish him off. A nice bomb onto CG Apocalypse.
Oh
And
my
triple
god!
kill.
Fantastic. Now, the thing is, all of those kills go to Rhaegar, but, you know, Tracer was in there doing work. A lot of damage from the shields.
Rest in peace, Abathur. ADN was able to find him in the bot lane, and he is taken out.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
My sweet prince. And he burrows right in front of the gate. This is going to be dangerous if, okay, Chet comes over and backs him up, and they're totally good.
Rip Slug.
Oh, and Tyrell's walking a bit far up. The Vincho might become the gray screen if he walks up that far again.
Yeah, he has to be careful. The damage output from Aviato is definitely there to melt through his shields. They're almost insignificant. Zeus solos a camp for his team. Apocalypse was over here working on his, but it looks like he wasn't quite able to do a whole hell of a lot with it. Waiting on
with the sneaky little invade here.
Oh yeah, love the Tracer invade. She's safe. She can get out. She can avoid the shots. She's gonna go ahead
And now the gank onto ADN. Stun's going to miss. A nice drag's going to land. Double blink out.
yeah, that stun may have saved his life there. All right, so on the side, let's take a look at our ults. This game is moving so quick. Bunker from Blaze, Quantum Spike on Tracer, Ultimate Evolution on Abathur. He also did pick up Mule, so this is a key. Oh, we had a kill up on top. Were you happen to looking at that?
I just saw a lot of people collapse on Garrosh, and I just saw one dead boy.
Yeah, he is struggling a little bit. I think that's actually his second death. Yeah, it is. Finishing up the ults, we have Sanctification by Tyrael. I am sad. I wanted to see some Judgment. Aviato getting collapsed on a little bit here, but under tower, he should be okay. He's actually going to drop the Odin. Not sure that that's worth it.
Interesting. I don't know how much value he's going to get out of that.
I mean, I don't even think he's going to save the fort.
He actually dashes into them.
Ouch. Yeah. He draws the ult from Tyrael, but like I said, they get the fort anyway. That I don't think that was the greatest use of the Odin, and then of course dying for it. Thankfully, Dahaka and Stukov are down here picking up the temples, so they are trading a little bit okay. Abathur makes it a little bit difficult, especially when Vincho had to go back. They couldn't quite do anything about it. Chechen getting thrown in under tower, taking plenty of shots. If he's not careful, he's going to go down. But no, he's okay. Rest of the ults.
We were hoping for from Onslaught seems to be ramping up.
Yeah, definitely. Picked up Ancestral Healing. We have Adaptation, Commander Odin, Massive Shove, Dragon's Arrow, and Warlord's Challenge.
And Crib is just going in. The Ultimate Infestation going to go onto the Tracer. Obviously, he's going to be running down Gudenan. A nice recall comes out. Bunker gets used by Chet. Vincho gets thrown into the gate. A nice
silence.
Garrosh. Oh. Can Tyrael get anything more with that? Nope, not quite.
The silence pool on Kriv, if they're not constantly staying mobile, they're gonna struggle. But yeah, picking up the Chiro kill gives.
Oh, and that's a nice throw onto the Blaze, and that's another dead member for Onslaught.
Yeah, I'm never a huge fan of seeing frontlines get thrown in, but I think they have enough kill pressure that basically anybody they throw, except for maybe Tyrael, unless he's chain stunned or silenced, that he'll be able to get out okay. But anyone else is probably gonna die.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to throw a frontline in, you have Tychus, so I guess that's an option.
Tychus, the melter of tanks.
Tychus, Leoric's a hero?
Now, one of the things, taking a look here, we see a full W build by Hanzo, but not a lot of boss priority as of yet.
A A nice two-man stun's gonna land. Crib dives into the team. Oh, actually, the Holy Ground displaced
Nice.
him. But a nice first kill coming in onto the Stukov, and that might be the Garrosh as well. Crib is just going to be running rampant in this fight. A nice stun lands onto the Odin, and that's going to be 3 clean kills for Onslaught. Apocalypse isn't going to be able to find any vengeance for his friends.
And they should be able to pick up a boss here pretty easily with only Hanzo to
Just
defend.
make sure Crib doesn't take any damage.
Yeah, the tornadoes are going to beat on him. Arrow is not up, so they don't have to worry about Apoc just throwing that in and picking up any cheeky damage.
With Blaze standing guard there, shouldn't be anything that Hanzo can do.
No, this is definitely a boss. It means this is most definitely a fort as well. Chechen goes in for a dive on Apocalypse, misses. Temples are up. ADN is picking it up for mid-temple up for his team.
And they're getting both camps as well. Zeus is soloing their siege while they invade theirs. A nice two-man taunt going to land for Sandroy, and it looks like they're actually in a little bit of trouble. Onslaught's going to get the camp. Vincho gets out. The Crib is kind of caught there, and unless the ultimate infestation, the ultimate evolution, I've been playing a little bit too much Hearthstone.
That was a nice engage. Onslaught could have gotten quite a bit out of that, but unfortunately the forced recall on the clone wasn't able to secure the kill. So they are going to be healthy. They're going to be able to take this. However, I believe they took all the shots on mid-temple. Onslaught's going to go ahead and grab their temple bottom. Onslaught is also going to pick up level 16 first here, barring anything drastic happening.
What do you think of, just taking a look at Blaze's build real quick? He took Neural Stim Pack into Incinerator Gauntlets. How do you feel about Incinerator without Adrenaline Stim Pack?
I don't think Adrenaline is necessary for the build. You're not going to be soloing camps as easily, but you're still going to clear waves, and you're still gonna pop your oils. Ooh, we got a Kriv going deep on the ADN. I think he is done unless he can recall out.
That's a dead ADN. The bomb maybe a little bit overkill.
Just a bit, but Tracer wants to secure kills no matter what. Ultimately, Tyrael picks up the kill, but I've been that Tracer. I'm going to throw a bomb on you. You have 1 health. I'm throwing the bomb on you because I don't want you to live. So that gives them the go-ahead to invade this Bruiser camp.
It's about sending a message, you know?
I don't need this bomb.
You can have it instead. A nice three-man silence is going to land by Stukov. Full W is actually going to land and complete that quest. So 2 quests picked up for the side of Proyect, but they're going to have to be a little bit careful still. There are still 4 members for Onslaught. A nice stun going to land onto the Garrosh. Odin's going to be popped. 2-man stun. Unstoppable.
Ooh, nice.
3-man stun by the Garrosh. Sank's going to be used as well as the bunker, so both tank ultimates. Apocalypse going to jump over the wall. Kriv got to be careful engaging onto the Odin. Another nice stun. Alistar's ultimate evolution, but the Burrow claws out of there. And, oh shoot, the Ancestral going to get...
Ancestral actually went off on the clone. Thankfully it didn't finish.
The clone died.
Yeah, that was definitely good for them, but they're going to go ahead and disengage the fight anyway.
Yeah, and just pretty good defense by Proyect.
Yeah, that could have ended very badly for Onslaught. Ultimately, they didn't get a ton of value out of that push, but thankfully for them, no one died. They did have to pop 1 ult, almost 2, in order to survive. That will help them because it did force an Odin and a Dragon for this temple phase. But those will be back up before or right after the temples come up, so that's almost insignificant. We do have a boss up in a little over 1 minute. Level 17, both teams a little bit of a lead by Onslaught.
Yeah, and in spite of the 10-3 kill difference, it's pretty even in XP.
Yeah, this is working out well. I'm not 100% sure if it's due to maybe there hasn't been a great use of clones this fight or this game. It comes out and it feels like it might come out a little bit early, or even if it's timed well,
Well, I
they
guess
aren't
they're
getting a
looking
lot
for
of
an
value.
engage here. Two-man taunt by Roy, going to miss the stun. Dahaka is going to burrow behind them. All 5 members are there with the ultimate
Nice
evolution
sank.
as well. A nice sanctification going to land. The place is going to be thrown to the team. Odin's going to be popped. ADN's going to land the stun with the tongue, but he's deleted instantly. Holy cow. And the a very nice ancestral healing onto Crib and the Tracer, and that's going to be another kill going in the way of Onslaught.
Now at this point, they
And
need to back off. They're overextending a little bit. Go ahead.
Abathur just going to chill and get that temple. Just make sure you don't die, man.
A few shots can't keep the slug there for too long, or the Temple Guardians will erase you from existence. He goes to soak a little bit bot. Taking a look at his talents, did he pick up? No, he did not. So he is again full hat, no real siege at all. So that is a little bit unfortunate that he didn't take up um, the four scarabs. The little bit of siege might have helped just a bit, but on this map, I guess owning the temples is a little bit more important, and they do, with that temple, take the first keep of the game top. Now, being top, they have opened up a win condition. Bot is a better option with the boss. Somebody's pinging to be careful, so I think Proyect is kind of wanting to keep eyes here. Abathur mines are there, so both teams have vision. Both teams are not going for it. It looks like Proyect wants to set up. They are both on the same talent tier, but Onslaught is much closer to level 20. So Proyect looks to wanting to fight here. I don't know that they have the adequate tools to win an aggressive fight like that.
They do get the camp, which is nice for them. I guess they get to keep pushing bot lane a little bit.
And they're gonna boss.
Oh, that is very risky, but I guess no gain without greed. Oh, the stun is whiffed. ADN's gonna burrow in.
I don't think Sand's gonna make it out alive,
Oh,
honestly.
wait, but Roy just walked the bomb into his team. Odin's gonna be popped, but both Tracers are in there. But the original's actually taken down, and Malstar isn't gonna be able to take out Aviato.
Aviato living, he needs to be careful. He will take a death. They're gonna go all in on this boss.
So careful about this.
Nice.
The Saint goes down. They get the boss steal, and let's see if they'll be able to turn anything around or if they'll just disengage here.
Now without Tracer, they don't have much of a team fight.
Going. And they're still going on to Roy. He is caught behind the boss. He's going to miss the stun.
Nice, holy ground.
Garrosh down. Rhaegar getting the kill credit. A drag onto Tyrell. See if he'll be able to pop anything more here. Tyke's going to be shredding him a little bit. The massive shove to get away from me. It's going to be used. ADN with the moving while burrowed into the rest of the team. The boss just going to wail away at this keep wall.
And meanwhile, we do have a little bit of a push top as well.
Yeah, and
some core shield damage.
That's probably going to do core damage. I don't think the shields are going to hold up that long. Let's see, can I get one more volley off?
One more, and 2%.
2%.
So that was overall, I think that worked out well for Onslaught, despite the loss of the Tracer. Trading for the Garrosh sets them up for this temple nicely. They have level 20. They have 3 alts up versus almost all the alts of Proyect. So they do need to be a little bit careful. Proyect can come in and be aggressive on them, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. The temple should be done by then. Gotta make sure they stay on top of it.
I must say this game, Kriv and Chet have been on point with their synergy. They've been landing good stun into bomb combos, and the bunkers have been pretty on point.
Yeah, but the only thing that I think is they've had a little struggle with has been the Ancestrals, but I think ultimately it hasn't had a huge impact. The Sanks have been beautiful to protect Kriv when she's gone in deep. Level 20s here. Burn notice on Blaze, composition B on Tracer, Hive Mind, Seal of Druin, so they're going to pick up a little bit of damage on the Tyrael with that, and Rewind on Rhaegar. Big red button changes survival, push comes to shove, play of the game, and Titanic Might. So a little bit more standard on the side of Proyect. Curious as to whether they're going to get much value out of Composition B on Tracer, and then interesting enough to see the Rewind as opposed to Storm Shield on Rhaegar. I think that I don't know. To me, I think they get more value out of Storm Shield.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Having a shield, just having a little bit more on Tracer just in case is probably a little bit better than having, oh, you have a new chain heal now or a new lightning shield.
Well, so you get a shield no matter what. You take a look at Rhaegar's options. You have two
You
shields
have a
available
shield.
for her, and then two heals. So I think it is you have more available. I just don't know. They are all in on the Tracer. So I don't know. It could have been a good decision for them. Now, in the meantime, Proyect is
Proyect
taking.
cannot stick around.
No, they're going to take core damage. They send ADN back. He's going to get a decent defense for them, hopefully. That does leave a 4v4 plus Abathur bot here.
Let's just watch the engage. A nice stun going to be landed there, but a nice into the fray as well, I believe.
Yeah,
Throws
that was
Goodman out of there. A nice E going to land. The stun goes down.
Kriv.
Naviato's trapped. Malstar is going to actually take out Stukov before his death. A double kill for the Abathur. ADN's gonna burrow in, but he is in the team, and he's gonna get stunned up by the Blaze. Malstar's ultimate evolution is gonna go down, but that's 3 clean kills already, and that could very well just be the game.
Yeah, that was a good engage again by Onslaught. They've played this comp very well. Like I said in the draft,
And
this
the
is what I
Henshaw
wanted to
is
see.
just gonna start wailing away at everything.
So much damage.
Aviano, not quite, but they're going to finish off the core, and that's going to be a very nice, even series.
Good games by both, but fantastic adjustment on the side of Onslaught, especially on Proyect's map choice. I very much like the adaptation that they made.
Very well done, and Kriv was on point this game, definitely making up for a couple missteps last game.
Definitely, I think they stepped up. Again, the adjustments they made did them wonders. Taking a look at the stats, 16-4 in kills. So Onslaught, they brought it. You know, they kept going hard on the other team. Quite a bit of value out of the Tracer. Abathur following up just behind in the damage. Not a lot of value out of Hanzo that game. I'm honestly I'm not all that surprised. W build, if you're not going to snowball early with the map objectives in regards to boss and camps, you're better off building for team fight. And you know, I think ultimately the Hanzo choice hurt them just a bit. But the major thing I think, like I said, is the fact that Onslaught was able to be in the face of Proyect and constantly forcing them on the back foot.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to be analyzed at a later time for both teams. Again, I feel like both teams definitely had their moments, but wow, Onslaught was very aggressive, and they came out swinging for sure.
So again, if you're just joining us, this was Div C West Week 4, Onslaught versus Proyect. Both teams picking up a map, impressive fashion for each respective win. I'm happy with what I saw. As much as a domination looks for each team, seeing each team make an adjustment, or in game 2, having a team draft and play well, and then in game number 2 to have the other team come back and do what they want to do with the other team. It's very impressive to see the decision making by the team that's behind going into game number 2. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ask Chetjan. Oh, looks like he's going to go ahead and call it a night. So we will go ahead. We'll see maybe if Aviato wants to chat here. So, everyone, we're going to go back to our caster screen. This was TK Starstorm joining me today. I do appreciate you coming along, taking some of the pressure off me. To had a little bit of a rough day, so I did not want to cancel this cast. I'm glad I didn't. I had a blast watching both of these teams go at it. So again, thank you for joining me here.
Absolutely, I'm very glad to have been here, and hopefully you feel better, man.
Appreciate it. Now, Aviato has declined the interview. We'll go ahead and we're gonna wrap it up. Again, this was Raven X Division C West Week 4 Onslaught versus Proyect. Each team did take a map. Um, and again, thank you TK for joining me. I do want to say, if you enjoyed the cast, and if I was entertaining enough for you, go ahead, give me a follow. I did from my last stream pick up a sub button. I am able to accept subs, so if you're so inclined, feel free to join. I actually named my subs, and I kind of forget what I named them at this point, but I gave them special names. Eventually, I'll have to remember what all of those are, but no pressure, not a requirement ever. You guys, like I said, just having you here watching, having you support NGS is all that I ask. So until the next cast, which is actually scheduled for Thursday, tomorrow night I have my own game. We're looking to continue our win streak. But Thursday, 10 p.m. EST, we have Team Freelo versus the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. So look forward to that cast. Hope that you'll join me. But for now, this is Raven X, joined by TK Starstorm. Thank you once again for joining me. TK, you have a wonderful evening.
Absolutely, you too. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, everyone. Once again, thank you. Have a good evening.